Hey guys, welcome back to Nature's Cadence Farm. Today we're going to be working on the 99 Ford Escort. This is it's my little car here. This is what I drive to work every day pretty much, and anywhere else I want to drive it. It's really good on gas. I've had it for over 10 years now, and it just barely has, I think, about 130,000 miles on it. I bought it with 42,000 miles on it, so that gives you an idea how much driving I do. Whatever that is. Average. So today we're going to be changing the oil in this car. I don't have a video on this yet. I have one on the 05 Grand Caravan. You can check out that. And here we go. We're gonna do the oil change in it. I don't know how many oil changes I've done in the lifetime. I've done every one of them, so I should have it down pat by now. We're gonna start underneath of the car here. Here's the oil pan for the engine. And right here, there's a drain plug. This is a 15 millimeter. And what I like to use is this gear wrench brand, straight, not offset, 15 millimeter ratchet wrench. And that really does a great job getting the plug out of there. It fits in behind this bolt, the drain bolt, and this control arm. Actually, yeah, it's the lower control arm, or part of the lower control arm mount is actually there. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing loosened up. Kind of doing it one-handed. Here we go. There it goes. So I like to pop it loose there with that, and then get my hand in here, and I like to keep my finger pushing up against that bolt while I'm pulling it out. It might dribble a little bit, but at least I can control when it lets go. See, it's loose now. So all I have to do is, once I have this loose and I can feel it kind of floppy there, but I'm holding pressure with my finger and I have my bucket in the right place right there, just pull that out. And there it goes. It was dumping right into the bucket there. So I don't have any uncontrolled drainage going on. I'm just going to set this right here for now, and I'll wipe that down when I get ready to move forward with it. So let's go ahead and drain this out, and then right above this drain hole on the engine itself, I don't know if you can see it from down here, but there is an oil filter, and you can see it. It's that white looking cylinder right there. So we're going to go on the top of the engine, and we're going to pull that oil filter out. We'll leave this draining underneath of here, and we'll move our bucket to catch everything that's going to come out from the filter. Alright, here we go, getting the filter off. And this is kind of tricky, I'm going to be honest with you. This is one thing I really don't like about this car, and I like a whole lot of things about this car, is where the placement of the oil filter is. There's, you know, it's something you have to do all the time. And why are you going to bury it beneath the intake? Bury it beneath the intake, the fuel injection pressure regulator or check valve or whatever that is, underneath of these coolant lines or air conditioning lines, I'm sorry, and this wiring harness. But there's a little spot you can get your hand into right here. I have tried it from underneath also, and that worked okay too. It made a lot of a pretty big mess. But here we go. We're going to reach down in here. I'm going to see if I can get it by hand and see what we can do with that. Alright, looks like I got it by hand pretty easy. I'm just going to loosen it up enough to where it drains, and I'm going to double check that drain pan underneath to make sure it's catching it. Looks like it's going in there pretty good, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and pull this out. I like to try to get it out and put the bottom, turn it so that the solid part is at the bottom, so all the oil doesn't drip out while I'm pulling it out. Kind of makes cleaning up a little bit easier, less oil dripping all over everything. So right up through that one little hole there, you got to kind of fish and snake it up through there. See if I can get all this stuff out of the way. There we go. There's the oil filter. Not too bad. This is an FL400S. I've always used Motorcraft filters. I don't know if they're better or worse than any of the other ones, but I'm going to tell you, the inside of this engine is like the day it was new, so I'm going to stick with it because it seems like it's working pretty well. Here's the new oil filter, FL400S also. So I've got the new one, looking good. I've got a new jug of oil here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the gasket's on the old one, and it is, so that's good. I'm going to take my finger here and get a little dab of oil, clean oil for that matter, on there. Put the cap on there so I don't dump oil everywhere. I'm just going to lubricate this gasket, and that's exactly what this is doing, is lubricating the gasket. Right there. So it's not to seal, it's to lubricate it. My friend, we'll call him Ed for today, and he taught me that. I worked for him for many years, and we had a whole lot of fun together, and he taught me a bunch about cars and maintenance and repairing things. We worked together at one of my jobs for 11 years together, and I really appreciate everything he taught me. So we're getting the filter on there. There we go, got it. So just a little bit of fiddling around, and eventually it'll get on there. So generally I've only been tightening these up to where it touches and go in another, I think it says go, let's see, it says tighten it. Once it touches, can't really read that, it's kind of, oh, 3/4 of a turn to 1 turn more after it touches. And so that's what we're going to do. It's touched now, so I'm going to turn it. I'm kind of looking at the filter, I know where it was, and that's 3/4 of a turn. That's plenty. That's plenty. I've never had oil leaking everywhere on this engine, so I'm happy with that. Let's go down below again, and we're going to put the drain plug back in and wipe it down and then put it back in. Alright, I've got my drain plug here ready to go. Kind of wiped it down a little bit. You can see it's just barely dripping. That's plenty. The drain plug back in there by hand. You don't want to cross thread it. This is the original plug, I guess. It's what was in here when I got here, when I purchased it. And here we go. We're going to try to get this wrench back on here the way we had it, or the opposite of the way we had it. That was the wrong way. Nice thing about these, you just flip them around. So here we go. We're just going to tighten it down. I'm going to get it snug, and then maybe an 1/8 or a 1/16 of a turn more. And that's all it needs. It does not need to be driven on with an impact like I have seen some vehicles done before. Not mine. So let's go back up top, and we're going to put some oil in this engine and get it going. Back on the top of the engine here, we've got our oil fill cap, and that just comes right off of there. You know, I was talking about this engine. Let me see if I can get you in here, and I'll show you what this thing looks like. There you go, right there. No sludge built up. It looks beautiful. I mean, this thing is like new. Got my funnel here. I've been running this Valvoline 5W20 for a long time. I also use the Motorcraft 5W20, and I believe somebody said a long time ago, now it might have changed, that the Motorcraft oil is the Valvoline, but I don't know. Valvoline's good oil. They're all good oils. They all have to pass tests. Some are better than others. Some, you know, are cleaner. I like that Valvoline looks clean when it goes in, so that's, you know, whatever, I don't know. But it's been in there. This engine holds 4 quarts, and it's always held 4 quarts. It hasn't changed at all in the last however many years. So I'm going to keep dumping these oil in here, and then we're going to start it up and check it out, and that's about it. Alright, here's the last quart. Pouring in there. Kind of let it dribble there a little bit. That's not going to make or break the engine. After all these miles, I know it's not a whole lot of miles compared to some engines, but all these miles, it doesn't burn any oil in between changes, so that's a good thing. We're just going to put a rag underneath this funnel here to catch any drippings. Go ahead and put our let's go ahead and wipe this down while we're in here. I like to keep that clean. Go ahead and wipe this down while we're in here. One click. All right, looks like we're ready to start it up, and we'll check our fluid level. Just going to check it here. It's still on the ramps, so it's not going to be an exact reading, but we're going to just check it out here real quick. It's pretty close though. Let's see what it says now. That's perfect. If you can see that, hopefully you can. That lower dot there is full and the upper dot is empty. That's what the owner's manual says, and I can kind of see it. It's right on that line right there. So that's perfect. Just right. Alright guys, well that's about it. The oil change is pretty simple on this car here. It's a, it's a 99, so it's kind of old and simple, which is the way I like it. And that's pretty much it. If you have any suggestions or comments, I'd love to hear about them. You can just comment down below, and I'll put some of the links of the things that I used in the description, so be sure to check those out. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.